Vampire Cool Rulebook.
We're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blood on the Bayou, the Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle we're running here on Final Show Films. My name's Julia. I will be your storyteller for the evening, and we are down a few people for various circumstances, but they will be back with us next week. Hopefully. So, we will begin our introductions tonight with Drevian.
I'm Drevian. I play Simon DeLuca, the Malkavian Tailor.
And Jeremy?
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Catriona Clan Giovanni, lawyer who's just done with everything now. Just done.
Considering the last few nights, that's fair. And last but not least, we have Shawnee.
Hi, I'm Shawnee, and I'm playing Guav Vincente, the Asimite sorceress, who is not done, but getting there if things don't pick up soon.
Fair enough. So, before we get in, as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, eat the rich, fuck the Supreme Court, go vote if that's still happening. In some states, I know it is.
It's coming up in some other states.
In a month. Almost to the day.
Okay. Also, happy Full Metal Alchemist Day.
Also Mean Girls Day.
Yes, it's October 3rd.
Yep.
So,
I was still on the voting thing because Brazil just had its primary.
Huh.
And last I seen, it's probably going to a runoff.
Oh, that guy's going to be mad.
I don't know enough about Brazilian politics to comment. So,
the incumbent president is basically Donald Trump.
Complete with, if I don't win by a landslide, there was voting fraud going on claims.
Yeah. With the big difference is he has friends in the military.
Yeah.
His main competitor is the previous president, who couldn't run last time because of some corruption charges that ended up getting dropped.
Oh, so it's a shitty win no matter who wins.
Guy accused of corruption or literal fascist is
yeah.
Toss up.
Shit in one hand.
Yeah. Like there is probably an objectively better choice here. It's still not good.
Right. Okay. So on the latest adventures of our coterie, getting back to vampires, speaking of politics, Guire and Jack shook off the shock of a semi-accident as the trailer became engulfed in flames. And Guire informed Jack that she saved him from a Tremere attack on the semi. After waiting for the flames to die down, Guire got Jack some help in the form of a Good Samaritan bystander and went to tear the doors off of the trailer. Stepping inside, she not only found the carnage and ashen bodies of fallen kindred, but also a twisted and blackened mirror missing a small triangular piece. She then, after a small struggle, got the mirror out of the back of the truck and took it further into the forest to wait for the rest of her coterie. On the other side of the causeway, Destiny got a walkie-talkie message about an explosion, which promptly freaked out the rest of the party. Quickly surmising that this meant a firebomb instead of an actual explosion that happened on the truck, the group began arguing about the best way to get to the other side, and Rahab left the argument to get on a speedboat that had been prepared.
No, Rahab didn't. It was Simon left early.
Well, they both left.
Yeah. But like the argument was fairly well wrapped up. Otherwise, the argument would have continued all the way to the boat.
Fair. The group did board the boat eventually and get across the causeway, thinking it best that their one method of transportation away from any possible Sabbat attacks, thinking it best to keep their one method of transportation away from Sabbat attacks, it was decided that Mercy would drive the boat up and down the coast, while the rest of the group dealt with the mirror. They quickly met up with Guire and decided it best to move the mirror on land, worrying about Bylabog possibly being inside the water. Simon alerted Mercy that it would be best to dock the boat as Bylabog began to climb onto the boat to attack Mercy. Rahab thought it best, I believe, or it was decided Rahab would run.
I mean, Rahab started running, and Guire was like, "You got this."
Rahab decided on their own to start running towards back to the lake.
And with a terrifying chase of Bylabog attempting to grab Mercy, she decided to flee for the dock, only for Bylabog to pass her and Rahab to intervene with true faith, sending Bylabog quickly into the depths of the lake. Meanwhile, the rest of our group on land made their way to a local U-Haul facility to liberate one of the trucks for themselves, deciding to head back to Kat's home. Mercy and Rahab decided to head to a nearby bus station after trudging out of the water and collecting themselves. Contact was made. A few plans were made to arrive at Kat's house after preparations were wrapped up. And once Rahab and Mercy crossed to the other side and obtained phones from multiple outlets, Mercy left Rahab to care for Anya. And Anya and Rahab had a small conversation, which left Anya believing that Jonathan might still be alive and giving her that spark of hope. After hosting a small blood drive, and the two of them ate and retired for the evening, Kat, Simon, and Guire dealt with a bit of ghost activity before they were actually able to get the doorway into Kat's attic, at which point Guire received a text from Alexander informing her that he had found a way into the local Tremere Chantry, which is where we will be picking up this evening. Oh, it also needs to be stated that Mercy did arrive at Kat's house without problems. Because she was there at the end of the episode. So you guys have the mirror put up in Kat's interestingly decorated attic. And Guire, you receive that text message. At the same time, Mercy's phone goes off, and she promptly goes downstairs to answer it.
And was never seen again.
Ah, you found the movie trope.
Yeah, Guire will text back. Lay it on me.
There will be a few beats, and then can I call?
She will call him.
Vincente.
Ward.
I may be able to get both of us into the Chantry. My Primogen is not the happiest with me. However, I might potentially be able to spin it away that I need to look at a few rituals in which to help with the local Sabbat incursion.
All right, and nobody aside from your Primogen knows that you're still alive?
As far as I'm aware, she has not told anyone. But you know as well as I do that Morgan is loose-lipped sometimes.
You're not wrong. You seem to have inherited that from her.
Among other things.
Well, has she provided you a method of getting in that will keep us hidden from the eyes of others?
She's devised a window of opportunity for us tonight.
All right, and what's that window going to be?
You're not going to be happy.
Better say it now while I'm not in distance to stab you.
The hour before sunrise.
Fucking course it is. Staying up it is then. I assume the chantry is properly shielded.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Excellent.
It's been a while since I've graced them with my presence, so actively knowing what is up will be difficult. But I think we can handle it.
All right. Time for a daytime excursion. Well, waking up's the hard part. Not going to sleep, I can probably do.
He will rattle off an address not too far from, well, where you're at, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far from Lafitte Cemetery.
It's the Museum of Death right next door, isn't it?
As funny as that would be, no.
I don't know if it'd be.
that would be the place for the Giovanni's local archive on necromancy.
Listen, sometimes you gotta hide shit in plain sight.
I think the funniest part would be is like, oh yes, right next door. Just Simon's just completely unaware and unconcerned. He's just like, yeah, there's a Museum of Death next door. It's kind of funny that a vampire lives here. Completely.
I just love the idea. I just love the idea of there's the Museum of Death, there's the Necromancy Archive, and then literally next door to the Museum of Death is the Chantry. So both the magic users are just adjacent to each other and just never questioned it. Yeah, she'll take that down. All right, well, I'll see you then.
Hopefully this will not be as difficult as I'm imagining it to be.
Your experience in the art of thaumaturgy, I'm sure you can find your way past a few wards. It's in your name, after all.
You can hear the groan over the phone.
Simon snickers quietly.
True. That would be in about 3 hours.
All right, well, I'm not far from there right now, so I'll meet you closer to the hour of 10.
All right, I will see you then. Come with weapons.
Of course.
Just in case.
I never go anywhere unarmed.
You may be an arrogant ass, but you're not an idiot. And the phone will click off.
Meanwhile,
I feel like a question is if did Guire step out of the room?
Not particularly. She wasn't particularly concerned about it.
Okay. Simon's definitely eavesdropping.
Oh, yeah.
And Simon will, like, here's the click.
She expected that.
You might be an arrogant ass who's intelligent, but I'm not sure he can say the same.
So Kat has been working at her work table. About this time. Simon.
Yes.
You don't have any plans for the rest of the night, do you?
I have things that I could do, but not dire.
Okay. Could you do me a favor and go out and get me, I don't care how, I don't care if it's contained, I don't care if it's contained in bags or what, but could you get me some sustenance? I am going to need some for some plans that I have. And she is currently working with some fungi and shit on her table.
Okay.
I'm a little bit. I imagine, like all of us, who've used a little bit over the past night, and it's not as easy for me to hunt as it is for you, I imagine, especially you knowing this area better.
Besides, is there something particular that happens if you feed on someone?
Yes, they experience extreme agonizing pain as opposed to any sort of pleasure. It is not particularly conducive to the we made out in an alleyway thing that you are all able to do so well. But I'm working on something that might give us at least a sense of forewarning should gestures to the mirror, this unholy abomination, start acting up.
Just try and keep your family from doing anything stupid with it. The last thing we need is them to accidentally let Lasombra in.
Oh, they'll be doing I will neither confirm nor deny whether there are individuals that may be coming to help, but if there were, they're not fucking idiots like my aunt.
So long as that door stays shut.
Oh, it'll stay shut. That thought continue. That sentence continues in her head of it'll stay shut until it needs to be many years down the road.
It'll stay shut until Clan Giovanni decides to use it at some point.
The log night is a well-kept secret.
But I need to go hunting as well. I've got to be ready to exert myself and stay awake past sunrise.
Good luck with that.
Did you happen to know that you're living very close to the Tremere Chantry in the city?
Not surprised, it's the French Quarter.
No comment.
Kat, I have to ask a question.
Uh-huh.
Have you touched the mirror?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Are you goddamn kidding me? Not. I imagine the first thing that she did once it got set up, she did not touch it the whole way it went up, because if something bad is gonna happen, it's gonna happen to one of the other members of the coterie and not her. As soon as it was set up, there was a big chalk circle put on the ground, not as any kind of protection, because
right, it's more of
just
a
as a
slide.
This is where you do not. This is where I do not cross, and hopefully nobody else either.
Fair enough.
You know, she is working on currently one of her new rituals. A peek past the shroud, which allows you to enchant mold that by eating a pinch of it, you can gain the benefits of shroud sight.
Huh.
So you can see past the veil.
For people who aren't necromancers.
Which will be very useful if we're having to guard a fucking mirror that is a ghost portal.
Yep.
Hopefully I won't botch it, because then it might kill us all.
Is that a thing that you can? Is that a thing that you can provide for non-necromancers as well? Basically,
yes.
Yeah, so you can let other people see.
Yep, absolutely. That's the plan.
Okay.
I just need to not botch because botch does 8 dice of lethal damage to everybody who ingests it, including vampires. It'll be fine.
Rub some dirt in it. You'll be good.
Yeah, she's working on that for the next hour.
Okay. So that means Simon and Guire are going hunting.
Yep.
So you two are relatively close to the quarter.
Shall we just make a hunt roll?
Yes.
Simon doesn't even go to the quarter. Simon goes like a block over. There's 2 hotels and a psychic and love specialist.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, the fame merit or the fame background makes it easier for me to hunt.
Yes, it does.
Reduce difficulties at hunting rolls by 1 for each dot in fame. Yep.
Okay. So people are. It is Louisiana. It is New Orleans. At the height of Carnival, you are like 4 days away from 3 days away from Mardi Gras at this point, I believe.
It's packed.
Yes. Regardless of whatever the news has said, people abound.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me your roll.
What are the basic hunt rolls? We have a couple of options.
There is, if I'm remembering correctly,
I sure don't remember. That's why I'm pulling
there
up the book.
is, I believe you can use manipulation and subterfuge.
Let's see. Systems and trauma.
It's been so long since we've had an actual hunting episode.
On just a second.
Simon doesn't even need to hunt. He's like,
No, Guire's less than half full. She needs to hunt.
yeah, like Simon's just doing a favor for. Just doing a favor.
Yep.
What is Simon still has 8 blood points out of 12 given, but
259.
But Simon also just straight up doesn't need a hunt. I have heard.
Yep, various and it just whatever you decide it, basically.
Okay.
Appearance. They give examples of appearance subterfuge for seduction type, stamina athletics for just chasing someone down.
mugging for blood rather than possessions.
That sounds like your hunt roll is becoming the Sabat football game.
That is legitimately one of the things that I love about V5 is the part of your character creation is the type of hunting that you do. And one of them is just you beat the shit out of somebody until they're unconscious and then you feed off of them.
I am mugging you for your blood.
So my question is, how is Guire going to hunt? Is she going seduction? Is she going brute force?
I think Guire's primary hunting style is very seduction based because it makes full use of that enchanting voice and her fame.
Okay, so you make your way to a nearby bar,
which I think combined will reduce difficulty of this roll by 3. Yeah, difficulty of all rolls using the voice to persuade, charm, or command are reduced by 2, and then fame for an extra 1.
It's bad that like in the beginning when we were doing this, I could see all of the bars and it made it super easy and everything. And now I have trouble finding shit on Google Maps. It's because things have started to reopen. So
Yeah.
so nearby.
And she's not going to be like just finding one person. She's trying to get as much as she can because she's like less than half full. She's going carousing. She's got a couple hours. As many quick snacks as she can pull off.
Okay, you go by a local bar. We will say that you go to Milan Lounge, a little to the east of Cat's Place, not too far into the quarter. And go ahead and give me your roll, and we will decide where we go from there on how many. First off, what is your desired prey? Are you going male, female?
She's indifferent as far as gender expression goes. She's indifferent. She's mostly just going for whoever seems like easy prey. She's going for volume right now.
Okay. There are. Nope. Go ahead and roll for me.
What's our base diff going to be?
This is going to be diff 7. There's a lot of people in here.
Reduced to 4, then.
Yes.
I will put a willpower into this because I need blood.
Yes.
Four successes.
Okay. So you lean up against the bar, get your usual order of a cocktail that you don't drink or, whiskey, neat, and scope out a few people. And there is a group of people of mixed genders and ethnicities at a table nearby who are, you can see the entire table is just filled with different glasses, and they're becoming very loud and very raucous. You can hear them over the music. One of the girls is actually helped back into her chair as your eyes sort of slide over and pinpoint them because she's just had one too many.
Excellent. Each of those will make an excellent snack.
Okay.
I think very much this is the ideal situation for her to just disappear into a crowd. So using the second dot of obfuscate, she just sort of vanishes through the crowd and reappears nearby as she starts to, very much when they're not paying attention, just drawing attention to one person at a time, slowly luring them off so that she can snack on each of them until, as they get drunker and paying less attention, she's able to get through as many of them as she needs to fill her blood tank.
Okay.
Because she's only drawing from, like, I think 3 is the safe bloodline for a regular human. So she's only drawing 3 from it, 3 from them each. So
that is not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do.
because a regular human has about 10 points of blood in them.
So of the 8 people, you were able to lure away through about an hour and a half of work. 4 of them.
That'd be 12 blood?
Yeah, which should top you off.
My max is 15. I am currently at 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, that actually is one more than
Jesus.
I need.
Yeah, Guire was getting hungry.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're good. Yeah, that was one more blood than I needed. So the last person only gets 2 taken from me.
Okay. And they are none the wiser to a lot of it. You feel really good. You're not completely drunk, but like one more alcoholic and you probably be there.
Yeah.
So you have about an hour and a half, well, with travel time, about an hour until you need to meet Alexander.
Yeah. So she'll spend that hour in obfuscate, just scouting the area, just sort of out of everyone's peripheral vision, just sort of disappearing around the area, finding the area, looking around, getting a lay of the land.
Okay. Simon, how are you getting your blood? So you said you were going to a nearby hotel.
Before Simon leaves, Simon will ask Kat if, like, you have a scalpel. Do you have other supplies like hypodermic needles?
There's just a slow turn of the head and a stare. Surprisingly, right now, I do not. Remember, I just moved here.
Yes.
Haven't collected my embalming tools yet.
I do not have hypodermic needles. What are you thinking?
I need a way to store your blood for you.
I was just my first thought was just to bring them here and start draining blood into like a cup or something.
Oh no, if you bring them here, I'll take it from there.
Okay.
I just need them brought here, preferably seen by as few people as possible. Like 0.
I mean, that shouldn't be terribly difficult. We're on a residential street.
Yep.
There shouldn't be.
The party's not here. It's
the middle of the
deeper in
night.
the quarter.
We should be fine. And then she just smiles like okay, this conversation is over now, and goes back to what she's doing.
And then Simon will wander over to where hotel, like a street or two over where the hotels actually are.
Okay.
And someone who's clearly not sober will kind of put on a fake smile and like, oh my gosh, your figure is amazing. Like, I think we could, like, I have some stuff that will look amazing on you. Like, and like just go into like Taylor's talk and like,
okay,
sell up clothing.
Sell someone as the next fashion icon. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me. Give me a manipulation. No.
I am specific. It's like I'm specifically trying to manipulate them into their own.
So manipulation and
offhand empathy, but can I use my Taylor skill? Or would that add to it?
Your craft Taylor specialty?
Yeah.
You know what? Sure, I will let you use it at difficulty 7.
Let's see. Manipulation. Crafts. Actually, I have made tailoring a professional skill. That is the correct column. Skills. Profession. Yes. Okay. Difficulty 7.
Yes. Three successes. Okay. You are able to sufficiently wait. I forget, with specialties, if you roll a 10, it counts as 2, correct?
This isn't specialty. This is This is the professional skill.
Oh, okay. All right.
Otherwise, I'd have another 2 dice
Okay.
on the roll.
So 3 successes. You are able to very quickly lull this person into a false sense of security about actually being invested in them as a person. And they let their guard down pretty easily. The alcohol definitely helps. But what are you planning? How are you planning on getting this blood back to Cat?
Simon's taking the whole damn person.
All right, then.
Simon's like luring them, like chatting them up, like selling the clothing thing,
So
like with very specific words. And
you get this man back to Cat's house, and he may be drunk, but he very incredulously looks at the very obvious not a retail facility, and he's like, "All right, so what do you got going on here?"
Here, just step inside. I need to step to the back of the house. I need to grab my key. Like, I'm not gonna carry the key to my shop on me this late at night. Who knows who I might bump into?
Says the monster.
Says the monster whose smile doesn't reach their eyes. And like Simon just kind of like leads him inside, and
he's hesitant, but does eventually cross the threshold.
You fool! Even if we were stereotypical vampires, you have fallen into our trap now.
He just sort of, this a real nice place you got here.
Yeah, that's still a work in progress. Just moved from farther out and like out of town to be closer to the shop in case I'm needed. I need to pop upstairs. Let me to grab my key real quick.
He sits down on a kitchen chair and just sort of leans back and slides down halfway and just sort of waits.
Simon pops upstairs. All right, Cat, delivery.
Wonderful.
And
sits down her grave moss.
And
Don't
before
touch
Cat,
that.
Absolutely not. Simon will go back downstairs ahead of Cat, stepping past the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy looking at Simon has no reason to be looking back towards the stairs.
Okay.
Oh, well, that makes it easier than what I was gonna do, but sure. Yep, he's just gonna walk downstairs.
Simon's chatting him up.
Walk into the room.
And just before Cat can bite, Simon will use demontation.
Okay, before that, Cat, I need a dex and stealth roll.
She's not being stealthy.
Okay.
She's just walking down. Okay, so her plan is to just walk up to him and dominate him.
Okay.
Oh, Simon was gonna do demontation, just like suppress everything down.
Oh no, it's fine. This man is not leaving this house.
Okay. Well, it's also just to suppress any screaming.
So if
he's numb to everything.
He does look at you, and then he hears Cat come down the stairs and looks at her.
Catch the eyes.
As he's turning,
mm-hmm.
like the last thing he sees from Simon's face is not like that friendly smile, but if he were to survive this, it would be like the nightmares of like someone who was abducted by a serial killer.
Oh no.
Okay.
Like Simon's completely like broken. Like the emotions don't match.
It's the kind of thing that a horror like animated horror movie fashions with like the black lines around the exteriors of the eyes.
Right.
Yes. The grin is too big.
The dead-eyed, way too big, toothy smile.
Yeah.
Like the realization that something's bad about to happen, and there's a monster in front, like he just fell into a monster's trap.
So go ahead and roll me your
Yep. What's his willpower?
3.
Okay.
Yes, very much that.
Yes.
I still need to see that movie.
Same.
Well, fuck you, dice. One will work though, I guess.
One will work. So he promptly you hold on a second. I'm gonna go with the lady. And just keeps walking.
Yep. As soon as he gets close, I'm gonna catch him into a sleeper hold.
Okay.
And I'm gonna choke his ass out.
So that's going to be
it's a good thing I took dominate.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it. Why not? I'm gonna be. I've got my bag right here. I will spend a blood point to pump up my strength.
Okay. So strength and brawl difficulty.
Yep.
I'm curious. Does it take a higher level of dominate to be like sleep?
Sleep. I don't. It specifically calls out sleep. I don't remember. I don't think it's something that you can do.
Okay.
Because you can't control involuntary functions, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait. Being told to sleep in a dangerous situation. So I guess I could, but can't doesn't have.
You can't tell someone to sleep if they're actively in a gunfight, but
yeah.
Right. So
she didn't think of that. This is her choice. So okay, strength plus brawl +1 because of potence.
Mm-hmm.
So +1 to this. Where is rolls? Where's dice? There we go. Do I have strength plus brawl already in here? No, I will put it in then. Strength, brawl. Strength brawl difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
So +1 to this. Really? Fucking really? Okay, I spent a willpower. It's not a botch.
No, you just can't. Like he doesn't come to, but he definitely starts getting uncomfortable and doesn't really just. You can't get. It's not that you can't overpower him. You just can't get a good grip on him.
He's bigger than you are.
Okay.
So seeing Cat struggle, Simon will continue with the will use demontation, just like
that's
cool.
fair. Just
you
to keep
just
from calling out.
Like, you're just gonna now like kind of be there.
You're gonna stop registering things for a bit.
Yeah. You're not gonna feel the panic or the need to struggle. It's fine.
Time to mentally go night night.
Yep. So I need charisma and empathy.
This is passion, right?
I believe that's what
difficulty equals victim's humanity or path rating.
Yeah, passion is the power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this will be difficulty 6.
Okay.
Two successes.
You know what? I just realized I did not actually bump up my strength.
I was about to say, is your base strength only 1?
No, my base strength is a 2, so it should have given me an extra die.
Yeah.
You go ahead and re-roll it. We'll say that Simon has been helping with this the whole time.
Yeah, it's like demontation doesn't have a cost.
Okay, so 3 then.
Yes. So with a combined effort of
also you didn't add like any actual ability in the first roll either. It was just rolling 2 dice.
Oh, you're right. That was weird.
That is weird.
Oh well.
Yes. So you managed to get him into a stranglehold, and
The
So,
last thing he
hold
sees
on.
is the last thing he sees before passing out is just Simon smiling dementedly at him.
He does fight, but
I mean,
it is
that's fair.
not enough. And
I would
it
expect
takes
nothing left of him.
it takes a few minutes, but are you going for kill? Are you going for
I'm choking him out. No, I'm not killing him
Okay.
now
Okay,
because dead blood is gross blood.
fair enough. So he
I'm
does,
choking him out and dragging him upstairs.
Okay. He does pass out and gets a very bumpy ride up to the
Yep.
attic.
And yeah, I need 9 blood points. So this
Oh,
motherfucker's
this
dead.
man is dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So you suck that Capri Sun until it
Yep.
stirs.
If you want me to make him a humanity roll, I am okay with that.
Yes, please.
Okay.
I love the juxtaposition between the assassin's feeding style and the lawyer and the tailor's feeding style.
So, in fairness, the assassin or the lawyer normally wouldn't do this, but we are on a fucking deadline at this point. Not because of the morality. They don't have an issue with the morality. Humans don't have a problem eating chickens.
A lot of humans do. They're wrong.
Well, yes. But it's the messiness and the like if she honestly didn't care, as soon as he was down, it would have been he comes closer, boom. But then that leads to reports of gunshots in the district and a bloody floor I have to clean up or convince Simon to clean up.
This is only making the juxtaposition better.
Well,
okay, yep, that's fine. I'm humanity 4 now.
What's even funnier is like Simon generally doesn't hunt. He feeds off regulars at his store.
So yeah.
Like I have the herd background, and it's just like, yeah, 3 of my regulars that come in, they get a discount on their clothing in exchange for their blood.
So she feeds on him until that pulses no more, feeds a little more because there's still, I'm assuming that happens before 9/10 of the blood is gone.
Yeah.
The pulse stops well before they've been drained.
Yes. And she just stands up.
You gotta suck for those last bits.
Yep. Grabs the body, since I have a strength of 3 right now plus potence, and just picks it up and puts it down on the table. I will use that later. All right, I'm feeling better. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to what I'm doing and make my grave dust.
Okay, go ahead and roll your corresponding roll for that. I always have trouble finding your.
It's a necromantic ritual, so it's intelligence plus ritual or plus occult.
Okay.
Difficulty 3 plus the level of the ritual. This is a level 7 ritual or 4 ritual, so difficulty 7.
Difficulty 7. Okay.
And yep, it doesn't say. I just want to make sure I'm the actual roll, because a lot you have to spend. No, I don't have to spend blood for this. Cool. Intelligence occult, difficulty 7. I will spend a willpower on this because, again, I do not want to botch this. All right, I definitely didn't botch.
Holy shit, Jeremy.
That makes up for my usual rolls.
Yeah. Whew. 4 success.
And so when the mold is eaten, and so It will grant Shroud Sight for 2 hours. Every success I get gives me 3 doses of Enchanted Ergot.
So you have 12.
I have no, because I spend a willpower, so I have 15 doses.
You have 15.
Yep. We won't do this immediately. We will save this for later. You know what? You've been helpful. Would you like to see what the land of the dead looks like?
Simon looks up from rifling through the guy's pockets. Yeah, sure.
Give you a pinch of
Does
the grave dust.
Does Simon happen to like find the guy's phone or wallet or anything?
Oh yeah, he's got his wallet, his phone, like $40 in singles.
Simon turns off the phone for now and makes a plan to like leave it on, like turn it back on and leave it on a bus to who knows where.
Okay.
Just some basic stuff in case this guy has like family that might try to find him, so his phone doesn't track to here.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your stamina score?
2. So it would be 2 hours worth.
So 2 hours of Shroud Sight.
Yep.
So Simon's like, yeah, sure, why not? What do I do with it?
Eat it.
Simon
It won't
shrugs,
taste good, but
Simon just shrugs and downs it.
Okay. So,
welcome to seeing the underworld.
As it hits your tongue, it does that thing that all vampires are accustomed to, because no matter how many times your sire tells you, don't eat food, you have to try at least once. So everybody knows what a mouthful of ash tastes like. But for the first time in a long time, you taste something different. And it's not any more pleasant. The taste of rot and fermentation hits your body, and you kind of reel for a second, and you blink your eyes a few times.
Simon has no reaction.
Okay. But you do blink your eyes a few times, and your eyes go gray. And Kat, it's interesting seeing this from the other side, even though you've seen it from family members. So seeing somebody outside of the clan do it is sort of, huh.
Yep.
Simon's like just kind of looking around. It's like, that's not the worst thing I've had.
So I have 2 questions for you. Well, one, where in the room are you looking?
Simon just kind of like 60-ish degrees either side of where Kat was.
Okay. To Kat's, what would be her right, your left.
Mm-hmm.
You see well, Kat, would you like to describe Walter?
Walter, so you see obvious dead person. He's the kind of person that during the era in which he was alive, and he very much has that style that you can probably pick out of like 1910s or so. He has that sort of pseudo high class, like upper middle class style from that era. But anybody with any sense of being able to look past the, oh well, you're a well-off person, certainly you couldn't be bad, sees that there's a lot there are a lot of red flags here. He has sort of a narrow face, sort of a little bit older, like probably 40s, 50s. Caucasian, sort of balding grayish hair, and just looks generally sketchy as hell, fairly thin. Kind of like H.H. Holmes would look like if H.H. Holmes was had made it a little bit older and didn't have the facial hair.
That's a pretty good
So
descriptor.
Simon, having been standing at the table, like puts his hand on the table and kind of feels and walks around the table like towards Walter. And ignoring any of the other features, just like starts like info dumping about the clothing. It's just like
You've met Walter.
just like going on as like the like style, the time period, regionality.
Do be careful. He's actually less humane than we are. Was when he was alive.
Less humane in like serial killer sense.
Yes, 32 victims.
Simon starts looking at like for any kind of like wound, any kind of wounds. Like, was he hung? Was he?
He was 100% executed. So he was like whatever.
Simon will comment. So he was executed via whatever like physicality.
There are the very stereotypical, like his neck is a little longer than it should be.
The ligature marks of the rope.
Yeah, the rope
Cutting in.
marks.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, it's like there's the rope, and then like estimates like how big the rope was, which is probably an inch to inch and a half rope. Like what type of material it was, and judging by the clothing, it's like
Simon's having a heyday.
I'm glad that you're enjoying yourself. Walter, Walter, you already know Simon. Simon, this is Walter.
Can someone under the effects of that hear the other side?
I
Or just-
think so. I'm looking up Shroud Sight just to be 100% certain. But
it doesn't stop Simon. Simon like greets Walter as
Shroud Sight. It doesn't say you can, it doesn't say you can't. Specifically what it says, you can see through the shroud, blah, 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 mystical bearer, blah, blah, blah. By using this, you can spot ghostly buildings and items, landscape of the Shadowlands, even raids themselves. Servant rape may it doesn't say.
Okay.
One way or the other. Actually, let me rephrase. The second level allows you to converse.
Okay.
So I would assume not.
Yeah.
can Simon get around this by something like intelligence, science, and just start reading his lips?
That would actually be, I believe, intelligence and expression.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Expression, diff 6. 3 successes.
You see Walter mouth the words, "Who the fuck does this guy think he is?"
My name is Simon DeLuca. I believe originally heard from you in the hearse.
Oh yeah,
when
the really
Cat-
nice ride that the ladies got. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kat had
that.
you go and keep an eye out.
Well, I do have to do as she says, so
I imagine you wouldn't be here if you didn't.
I am thankful for my humble master. That's what I will say.
I'm pretty sure you're full of shit.
He is absolutely full of shit. He would, if he had the opportunity, I'm sure that he would run away. Fortunately, at the very least, I do like to think that he enjoys his work.
I suppose there's worse things to do once you're dead.
Yes, be thrown into oblivion.
He will just point at Cat and nod.
Walter, that's not nice, considering there's the door to oblivion and points where the mirror was.
It's not the door to oblivion, that is the door to across the Shallows. It's just that along the way, I am going to assume to wherever La Sombra is, the Shadowland, the Oblivion will be there. And it won't just be a one-way door. So eventually it will all pass through. It would be bad.
Simon, have you looked at it yet? Or have you specifically not looked in that corner of the room?
Simon knows it's over there. Simon's felt no compunction to actually like examine it or anything.
Okay.
So it like when Simon's moving around the room, his vision's probably crossed over it, but not like actually looking at it.
Okay.
So unless Cat happened to be standing between Simon and the mirror.
Probably not.
No, you
He
guys
is definitely keeping an eye on the Malkavian, who is essentially tripping balls at the moment, to make sure that they don't get too close to the doomsday device.
This is one good way to put it.
Nah, Simon's very specifically not moving around very much.
Fair.
Like Simon's probably still within like arm's reach of the table. Like, I know the table was there. Reach out. Yeah. Like, I know what was around the table, and I haven't heard anyone move the furniture yet.
Yeah, no, she will just sit there while we're waiting to hear back from Guire. We'll just sit there and watch with the amusement of the person who is babysitting the tripping.
Yeah, trip sitting.
Yep.
And it's a very boring trip, as Simon does not express much emotion. It's just like, at this point, it's just like the curiosity of,
Yeah.
hey, I fucked with this guy. Now I can actually talk to him.
You have to get a good trip sitter, or you have that moment from Family Guy where Brian's like, I'm going to cut off my ear to prevent World War II.
Yep.
So, you guys do that, and
I'm not gonna lie, when you said welcome to the underworld, my brain just went to the song by Vamps, Underworld, which is appropriate. Both band name and song name.
yeah,
My mind went to Beetlejuice. Like, I'll be your guide to the other side.
I went to Bo Burnham.
Guire.
That's a parody song that needs to happen.
Yes. Guire, you arrive at the aforementioned address, which happens to be.
I've been scouting it for a couple hours, or
Yep.
for an hour, so
you make yourself known. It's a very interesting choice. It's a wedding venue.
taking the
place
term
is
chantry a
small.
little too literally, boys.
Live-a-day hall. Yes. I'm probably pronouncing that way wrong, but it is Livaudais. But I definitely prefer live-a-day because the irony is beautiful. It is a very, very open church and wedding venue. There are no guards outside. All of the lights are turned off. It's very unassuming. The doors are all locked. And it gets about 3 minutes before the agreed upon time, and Alexander steps out of seemingly nowhere.
Mm-hmm. It's
All
about
right.
it's about 3 seconds after he appears that Guire actually disables her stealth and just sort of appears out of thin air next to him.
Starting to think you weren't going to show.
Oh, I've been here for a better part of an hour.
All right, it's unassuming at the top. Follow my lead.
On the ground, I should have expected.
And he goes up to the door. You see him tap a few places, and you see these just almost sparks of red energy go off as he taps a few times in very strategic places. And then after all the pageantry is done, reaches into his pocket and pulls out a set of keys and unlocks the door.
There's the faint rolling of the eyes.
For the record, it does seem to be pronounced Livide.
There's
There's some like between for Livide pronunciation. Some are Livade, Livode, but essentially yes.
Okay, fantastic. So he offers you entrance first, as you are. He does say, "Ladies first."
potential backstabbers first. How about?
He just smiles, and you can see just the tips of his smile underneath his paintbrush mustache, and he steps in, and his 2-inch dress shoes start clacking off of the wooden floors, and the echo is hauntingly beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He goes around feeling on the wall, and you see him press into a spot, and it's almost like his hand, it's like the wall is made out of rubber. He presses in, and the entire material of it moves, and just parts of the floor start moving back.
While he's focusing on that and not paying attention to her, Guire vanishes. Like she's following behind him, but is maintaining her shroud. And is just letting him lead by his own ego.
He looks around. I'm going to assume you're still here. And he will begin descending. And in stark contrast to the very open and well-kept and beautiful area of the upper part, it is very much castle dungeon once you enter underneath of the hall. It is stone. There are cobwebs. Every so often there are lamps that have been upgraded from oil to lights.
Mm-hmm.
And you go down about 2 floors, and he leads you through a long hallway that is much larger than it should be, with 3 doors on either side and 1 door directly across. He would just sort of spread his arms.
So dropping the unseen presence for just long enough to speak. Now, where might we find the information we're looking for in specific?
That might be a little more difficult. But we have, and he pulls out his phone, 54 minutes to figure that out.
Before the sun rises, you mean?
Yes. Before certain death.
I thought you said this place was shielded from the sun.
Oh, yes, down here is, yes. It's the fact that we should not be found when the sun sets again.
Ah, well, you won't have to worry too much about that. Well, you might.
Okay. I assume you have your heightened senses, correct?
I do. It's not as potent as, say, some of the Malkavians might be able to see, but I can read a good distance.
Well, pick a room.
All right. And she's gonna start scanning, basically.
Okay. Which of the 7 rooms are you picking?
She's gonna look for the one that looks the oldest.
That would be the one directly across the stairwell.
That one, then.
Okay. He shuffles through a few keys, unlocks the door, opens it to a. This one's fairly small. It's about 30 by 20 feet and 20-foot vaulted ceilings, wall to wall, with bookshelves and scrolls and books and manuscripts and diagrams and display figures. There are 2 large desks in here just littered with books.
Because if she and Azra had been in New Orleans basically since there had been vampires in New Orleans, so if they're gonna find anything that'll have records on that, it'll be particularly old.
Okay. Let's begin. And that is where we will go to break.
Alrighty.
We will be back. Enjoy these messages or whatever happens.
We're back.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so Shawnee, you and Alexander start digging through manuscripts, I assume?
Yeah. Using heightened senses to try and catch anything that might be relevant before I have to skim too much.
You see Alexander just go from shelf to shelf, taking a book, going, and then putting it back.
Mm-hmm.
And just as fast as he possibly can. Go ahead and give me intelligence and academics,
You make it hard
or
on me.
intelligence and investigation. Intelligence and academics will be difficulty 7. Intelligence and investigation will be difficulty 8.
You make it hard on me. Intelligence and academics, then difficulty 7. I'm putting a willpower into this.
Okay. One success.
2 successes with
Two
willpower.
successes. Yes. So you start going through manuscripts, you start opening books, flipping, and you and Alexander are chatting about how this building's been used basically since it was built over 140 years ago, which is like just a little bit past the Civil War. So just a little bit after, shit went really bad in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like halfway listening and nodding, and you open a scroll, and right there in black and white is a drawing of your wife.
I think I found something.
He will slide a book back in, adjust his glasses, and walk over. What have you got?
Well, at least somebody took an artist rendition of her, so let's see what this has to say.
Do you read Slavic?
Nope.
Okay. Alexander takes it, moves his glasses down. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, I know what we need to do.
You want to lay it on me?
Put that in your bag and we'll find somebody to translate.
That was fucking great.
That was.
And he will
Listen,
walk
I know
over.
this guy's a Tremere asshole, but come on, that was great.
He will walk over to another shelf and start pulling out books again.
Oh, you're making it very hard to keep hating you in particular.
Who knows? Maybe one day we will flip the script on you hating the whole clan.
Maybe.
Don't
Maybe.
hold your breath.
Well, the clan probably not, but you in particular, maybe.
Or do hold your breath. It's not like it'll matter. You're dead.
And she'll keep looking for more.
Hey, give me one more roll at a reduced difficulty. Drop 1 from either of those rolls.
All right. Let's drop the diff down. Spending other willpower. 2 more successes.
Okay. So you and Alexander reach for the same scroll at the same time. He backs off.
Pull it
Lets
out.
you roll it. And this one's not as apparent as the last one. Because the last one was a fucking beacon.
Yeah.
This one, Alexander starts pointing out words that he recognized from the other manuscript. And there is a symbol that looks like a star sitting on top of a upturned crescent moon. And in the center of the star is a single teardrop, water droplet,
Blood drop.
Out of the center. And then further looking down the scroll, there are a few diagrams of there's a bust shot from behind of a masculine figure and a feminine figure, both with the same image tattooed on their neck just below their hairline. And what looks like a list of ingredients. It reads how a recipe would. You can't read it, but it's definitely like number this word, fraction this word, and a few examples and like bullet points of what to do.
I think this is probably relevant. This looks like a layout for whatever ritual might have been used. Unfortunately, we're going to need to find someone specifically who knows this language.
This is old. Old. Whatever it is. He then trails his eyes up the bookshelf, moves a ladder, walks up, and grabs a book with that same symbol on its spine. And sets it down in front of you.
Should I flip it open?
This one is handwritten and older English, Middle English. So if
hard to parse, down, but still readable.
Right, like hard to pronounce. Some words don't translate perfectly, but if you took the time and sat down with it, you could probably understand what it's saying.
It's going to be more of a headache than the Slavic, but at least I can read it mostly. Can she pick out any important parts from it?
There's only 2 chapter headings in like the entirety of the book that you read.
Of course.
There is the first chapter is thorough application, and the second chapter is experimentation.
You're going to try and skim any relevant details.
Go ahead and give me academics or intelligence and academics difficulty 8 with that with the Middle English.
Spend 1 more willpower. Success.
Okay, 1 success. Skimming through, and you and Alexander are both looking at this. He's not letting you, like...
If you're looking at Shamir's secrets, so am I.
Yeah, you get that it's much less I shouldn't trust this person here, and much more of a, tell me everything. I need to know it all.
Yeah.
And he just points out, it's very stylized and looks like it was written in a hurry, but you see the heading Patience. There are about 10 names there. And only one you recognize.
Yeah. This is what I need to find.
Is there a name in the manuscript?
She'll see if there's an author that she can locate.
Okay. Looking through, you get to the very front. Nothing on the cover or the first page. Flipping through a few pages, nothing. You go to the back and at the very bottom. In scrawled, stylized script. MMSJ.
Does that match up to Morgan?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fucking murder that bitch.
More dead primogens.
I think I've officially crossed over into the out of my jurisdiction section.
Well, this is coming with me. And I thank you. You are free to peruse to your heart's content if there's anything else you're looking for.
You will hear him crack every bone in his fingers.
Her hand just sort of disappears under her coat.
A roll is.
If I hear the first syllable of a spell coming out of your lips, you're dying tonight.
I've only done this once. He will hold up his hands and you will see every book that you have moved, everything that has been changed goes exactly as you saw it when you walked in.
Mm.
It'll be a while before anyone's back down here. And he just starts shoving manuscripts into a bag.
I respect that.
Good. Good.
All I can imagine is just talk him into taking Simon down there. And with eidetic memory, just start replicating things.
We have about 10 minutes till sunrise. So we could stay down here.
I don't think you want to do that, do you?
Not in the least.
Then let's find a quiet place and put up some barriers.
He will lead you back through. He will very meticulously lock and sort of, you see him, he has slit open his wrists and is just making hand gestures, and you were seeing the dust from where you stepped going back to where it used to be.
Would they have had cell service underground?
No.
Okay, I would imagine not. Because when they get up top, Dwyer would get a text like, my shop basement is out of the sun if you need a place for the night.
Is that within a 10-minute walk or run, if need be?
This would have been set more than 10 minutes before the sun up.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, you got it about 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. And with vampire speed, maybe. But
you're cutting it close.
Yeah.
I know it's nearby. I just don't know if it's that nearby.
Street. It is a 10-minute car ride.
So no.
But it's only 2 miles.
Oh, so if you sprint the entire distance and just clear, ignore roads.
Yeah, it's like at vampire speed, yeah.
Well, if we move fast, we can make it back to as I forget his name for a second.
Simon?
We can make it back to Simon's basement. But I don't know how fast you are.
Keep up.
All right.
And the two of you going at
Celerity
Olympic
speed.
runner speed.
Yeah.
Get there with about 5 minutes to spare. And you are let in by one of Simon's retainers as he's on his way out. So he's like, hey, "Oh, hey, you guys must be. You're in a hurry. Okay." And
Sun's about to come up, son. Better not talk.
we'll let you in. You'll hear the door close and a click. And you are able to get into the basement and retire for the day. Kat, Simon, were there any other items of business that needed to happen that night for you?
Nope. I don't believe so. When it starts getting towards close to sun time, at that point the shroud sight should have worn off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like once shroud sights off, Simon asks if there is anything else that Cat would need.
No, I'm good. You can go home.
All right. And then presumably with more than 10 minutes.
Yeah. Cat will just lock up the workspace. Well, we'll make sure. Rephrase. We'll make sure everything downstairs is all locked up and secure. And she doesn't like it, but she doesn't like she likes keeping it leaving the room potentially undefended even more. She will lock up the workspace with her inside, and she will be sleeping in there today.
Okay.
But so when Guire and Alexander get bust into the shop, Simon's just like they just there sewing.
Oh, there it goes. And I don't know why I did that wrong. It's not a botch. It's just a failure. So she'll do it again. There we go. I don't know why it took so long to play that. But yeah, she doesn't do anything without wake with evening. She doesn't sleep anywhere without wake with evening's freshness, not even her own place. So
legit.
Fair.
She will Cat will tell Walter if anybody is in the house before I'm conscious, downstairs, upstairs, yard even, do what you have to do to wake me up, with no limits to that.
You got it, boss.
Short of breaking Masquerade.
I definitely remember those rules.
Don't let anybody, don't let a mortal realize that something supernatural is going on.
Oh, okay. Keep the spooky to a minimum. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, I can do that.
But if you need to stab, whatever the case may be, only if necessary, try other stuff first.
Gotcha.
Back of Walter says, just like, stake to the heart's a good way to wake someone up.
Wakey, wakey, shish kebab.
The opposite of awake.
You're awake, just paralyzed.
Oh. He agrees. And you
Okay.
take slumber.
And I go to sleep. Yep.
The sun rises on New Orleans. And frivolity happens. It's a beautiful day. And the sun sets. Everybody regains willpower and loses a point of blood.
Before the day happens, does Alexander try to stay up?
Actually, no. he does take rest, which
Simon
is surprising, but
Simon looks at the bag and see if any of the like books have like names on the spines or anything that might be of interest.
interest to Simon.
Or just kind of in general, like he notes what the books are. And if anything in particular stands out in any way.
What languages does Simon speak or read?
Realistically, English, Italian, and Swedish or Norwegian, whichever the
I think mechanically there's like you have to take the
Yeah.
languages background to learn more, but
like realistically, Simon probably grew up with like Italian and Swedish and English being spoken,
Okay.
and then that's on top of eidetic memory of learning words here and there in other languages.
Okay. Romance languages, same thing. Let me make sure that I have my canon right. Okay, that is the correct term. 3 of the 4 books he has in his bag, not really catching your eye. The 4th book, a very like old ass looking manuscript, simply has the word flambeau across the spine.
Oh no.
I just see Jeremy's face.
Oh no.
It's always great when Jeremy makes a face at something.
Just watch the existential crisis happen.
Oh
Jared,
dear.
Yeah, because I have no idea. That's like farther into vampire lore than I've.
oh no, that's not vampire lore.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, that's a very different kind of lore.
Were they one of the houses that started the Tremere?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Were they not?
They didn't
Okay.
start it. They were definitely involved in kicking them out, though.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no. The. I mean, there may have been 1 or 2 that got yanked over for sure, especially during the war once they started. But no. For the most part, the clan, the house that became Clan Tremere was House Tremere.
Okay. And House Flambeau was like, you what?
I mean, House Flambeau is very much what their name implies.
Firebrands, yeah.
Their house Fireball. Their house, I don't care how big the room is. I said I cast Fireball. Or what's that other way? There's no I in team, but there are 6 eyes and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Oh.
So Flambeau probably has no bearing to Simon.
Nope.
No.
There's no I in team, but there are at least 2, and I cast Fireball.
Because Simon's not really up to date on like
No,
Camarilla or
nobody
any
would be.
vampire stuff.
Yeah,
Let
none of
alone
this, no one in this group would have any idea what that word means. That was specifically an Easter egg for the players.
that was specifically to give Jeremy an existential crisis.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
But anyway, so Simon, like, oh, that one's really old. Flambeau, okay.
I mean,
And like also like notes the others and like before going to bed, just kind of like tries to find a rough translation. And Simon's not that concerned about what's actually in the books. He's just more.
I mean, at that
material
point, it'd be
control.
mostly academic because, like, they lost access to the spheres. So,
no, here that is the Easter egg for a theoretical season 2 when we're no longer fighting antediluvians. We've now gone to war with the mages of New Orleans. At which point we will be getting closer and closer to the original. So I'm for it.
But so yeah, Simon like gets a rough translation, so he can spout it off to Alexander if Alexander mouths off.
A quick Google translation is Flambeau translates to the Olympic torch.
I can, yeah, that makes sense. It's flame. I mean,
Fireball.
Yeah, pretty much.
Simon would also see how and it's not just for that, it's for all the books. Like just kind of rough, like a rough translation to get an idea of what it means, and then also how to pronounce them.
Okay. All right.
So, and then Simon rest.
Yeah. Torch, roughly in French.
So you all awaken the next evening.
Yep.
And
immediately sit up and check the mirror, make sure nothing's different with it.
Nope.
Delightful.
It's exactly the same as you left it. And almost about 30 seconds after each of you wake up, you receive a text message.
Okay.
It is from Destiny. Did a lot of work covering your ass last night. And all of you can, after reading, can see all of you have been added to this chat.
Mm-hmm.
This was just a group text he decided to do. Did a lot of work covering your ass last night. As far as I can tell, the humans have no idea. However, I do believe we did not stop as many Sabbat from getting into the city as we would have liked.
Does this come when it's like one block of text, or is this in multiple?
This is
text?
one huge. It's the old person text where they send you like 45 things in one conversation.
Simon
or people who can actually text paragraphs versus sentences like me.
Simon doesn't even look at it. Response TLDR. I didn't volunteer to be in a group chat, and leaves the chat.
Okay. There's a beat, and then okay, then ... We're also down 12.
Important ones or 12 useless ones?
There'll be a few moments. Every head that we have to fight the Sabbat is important.
During those few moments, Simon, like, because I imagine Guire's awake too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, I'm sure I'll hear about what's happening there. I'm gonna go make sure the store's ready to get started, and goes upstairs.
Shit hit the fan last night, basically.
Not surprising.
Considering the night the rest of you had, yeah.
Right. So this is not texted. Cat to herself was like, yes, we're all important, blah, 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 blah. And then texted, I mean, childer or older? Question mark. Smiley face. Send.
Little column A, little column B.
All right, fair enough.
Plus side is the apocalypse is at least temporarily averted.
the object of concern is secure. No object, no apocalypse. And it will become very much more secure very soon.
I don't know if I like your wording, but whatever works. Once Sybil figures out that we've intervened, she's going to go nuclear.
Yes,
She's going to find out tonight. I have to report back.
And then Guire specifically will get a text from a number you do not recognize.
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
It reads as follows. I would be delighted if you would join me for Elysium tonight. Hold on, as DM's brain shut down for a second.
I was about to say, someone just invited me to Elysium and I don't recognize them, and I have to deal with both that and something else.
Tonight's Elysium is invite only at the Pontchartrain Hotel.
Does that have a sender?
What do you mean?
Does do they sign their text?
No.
May I ask who's inviting me?
You will get back the rose emoji. And there will be a few moments of no message, and then you will get spider plus spider web.
Fair enough. And the Rose is the one that I know has been working with, like more directly with Sybil.
Well, you know, the Crimson Mask has been working with Sybil.
A Crimson Mask, yeah. The Rose would be the Primogen of the Toreadors?
Go ahead and roll me.
Crimson Mask was the Primogen.
Yes.
Was it? Okay.
Wits and
Streetwise?
Streetwise, yes.
Or occult? I don't know. Maybe politics?
Yeah, it could be. It could.
This is
it
more
could be potentially. Sorry.
This is more a memory thing than a.
Wits and
It could
Streetwise
potentially
diffs-
not be someone
Yeah.
named the Rose. It could just be
a
diffs-
Toreador. That's a success.
Okay, I'm trying to, because I thought I did this very very cheekily.
You might have, and my brain's just not making the connection.
Guire sits and thinks for a moment. Rose, spider. You do know somebody named Rose. And there is a very famous spider.
I need you to connect that dot for me, because I'm.
So the spider is Charlotte's Web.
right.
Oh, okay. Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've been invited by our harpy.
Yes.
Okay.
In fairness, it's entirely possible that Guire is not up on 1970s children's literature.
I mean, completely fair.
Yeah. She did sort of fall off the face of the world for a bit after 1945.
Completely fair.
But yeah, I'll be happy to attend. I may have to dip out for the safety of everything after a bit.
You will get back. I will be delighted either way.
She'll rise, package the tomes very carefully inside her cloak, inside her coat, where she hides all of her knives, mostly. And with the larger tome, it's just sort of strapped underneath, like on the back of the belt. Because maybe she'll find someone who can translate while she's there too.
I might be able to make a few phone calls and see if... Nope, can't do that. As far as everybody knows, I'm dead.
Yeah, you want to keep it that way until this whole Sabbat business blows over.
He very pointedly sighs and just leans back against the wall he's been laying on, pulls out a book.
You got plenty of reading material.
That's true. Very true.
All right, it's my time to go and see how much this world's about to explode.
So what's everybody's plans?
So I am going to call Corinna.
Okay.
Simon is upstairs working on probably some mountains order.
Okay.
It has one of those language learning podcasts, just playing at like 3 times speed or something. And then when Shawnee gets, or not, yes, when Shawnee walks upstairs, when Guire walks upstairs, well, it's like heading out.
Yep, heading out to Elysium, invite only tonight, so this is going to be important. I'll let you know if anything comes up.
Absolutely. On your way there, here's his phone. Can you like ditch this in like some kind of public transport?
All right.
Cool.
Hey, can you do the super shady thing for me while you're on your way?
If anyone does it, she can do it easiest. Like, she literally is unseen presence, walk onto a bus, drop it, walk off.
It's like you could throw it on a bus, on a train, on a boat, throw it into some open door on a taxi. It's that belongs to Cat's meal, and so trying to make sure like the phone can't be tracked back.
All right. That unseemly, she says as she walks out.
Cat.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 rings, and just before you think an answering machine would pick up, Giovanni Incorporated, how can I direct your call?
Corinne, please.
And who may I ask is calling?
Catriona.
Triona. I will connect you in just a moment.
Thank you.
There is the generic hold music that is used by every company ever.
Yep.
And you wait for probably about 5 minutes.
Doot, 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 doot. It's designed to make you want to hang up.
Yep. Niece, hello.
Corinne isn't
Cousin.
mine. Isn't
Cousin.
me. Yes. Corinne. I am wondering what I contacted you about last night.
Yes, the special package that you have
Yes.
acquired.
It would be good if we could get this on its way to where it needs to go as soon as possible. There are other interested parties who are potentially looking to acquire it through less than pleasant means. And suffice to say, we absolutely do not want them to get the winning bid. Would it be possible to get this out of the city as soon as possible? Ideally, obviously, it would be somebody who is one of the higher ups coming and taking it away, but I understand that is potentially not feasible at the moment. But if we could perhaps get it on a plane to them.
Allow me to make a few phone calls, and we will see where we can go from there.
Perfect.
And a cameo.
I will be here. I'm going to make sure nobody happens to just walk off with this thing before it is safe.
All right,
So
I
let
will
me know.
report back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you, cousin. Also, just as a note, I don't know if you have been made aware. I don't know if anything necessarily has happened, but our dear family member, drew a little bit too far outside the lines in regard to this particular item. It has been reported up the chain. I don't know what, if anything, is going to happen. I can't imagine it will be good for Elena. But you should be aware, just in case she tries to use you as a port of safe harbor, that she may not be on the organization's good side at the moment.
That will be difficult, but I will do what I can.
Yes. Yes, none of this is ideal, obviously. I just want you to have all the information so you don't unknowingly go into a situation in which you are not properly given recon.
Fair enough.
Anyways, have a fun night.
You as well.
Thank you. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and send a text to the coterie. Will be here standing guard if I am in case I am needed further. We'll let you know if anybody tries to take the special football.
Holding on to the nuclear codes, are we?
Yes. Yes, we are. And let's be honest, if somebody tries to take it, your warning will probably be a phone call and screaming. Incoherent screaming.
Screeching and gunfire. Yeah, we gotta go check on Cat.
Simon's not that far away. It's fine.
You hang up the phone, and I assume post guard like a
Absolutely.
Are you going stereotypical like chair set towards door with gun in hand, waiting for someone to come through?
I mean, possibly. Let me check something here. Okay, damn it, they have to be alive. Oh well.
It's like, no, it's not Cat sits in the chair with the gun. It's raising the corpses to sit in chairs with guns, waiting. Cat's a Giovanni. She gets the corpses to do it for her.
Generally. Yeah, I think so. I don't think I have time to go kidnap someone so I can put Walter in a body. So, oh yeah, there are fun necromantic rituals. Let me tell you.
That's a thing. Okay. Oh, demonic possession. And
you prepare a subject, willing or unwilling, as a suitable receptacle of ghostly possession.
All I can imagine is just face attacks like, "Hey Simon, you brought me a body last night. Can you bring another one?"
Now, granted, the ghost has to have that possession ability, but this grants them 2 automatic successes on that roll beyond what they do. But no, yeah, they're just going to make sure the alarm is on in the bottom of the house, chill in the workroom. Probably not like sitting with a gunshot near the door. Like they're gonna do work and stuff. Probably start. There's no nice way to say this. Harvesting last night's meals for ingredients for necromantic rituals, and just wait for the Methuselah to show up, kicking down the door.
I'm just saying, if Sybil already knows where you're at, then you're already dead.
Yeah.
It's not the Methuselah kicking down the door. It's a big white monster crashing through the roof.
The other Methuselah crashing through the roof instead of the door.
The alarm will go off either way.
Technically not wrong. Okay, so you post up.
Yep.
Thanks to being a vampire, you don't even have to blink. You can just sit there and stare at that door until time ends, or you die. Either one.
Or the sun comes up.
There will be a quick text to Guire. Guire, do you think next time that you are in I realize this is a big ask, and if you don't think it's feasible, don't do it. But next time you meet with Sybil or Alexei, do you think you could get something that's a possession of theirs?
I can certainly try.
Wonderful. That would be great. And that's it. And then he's guard duty.
Okay. So, Guire.
Yep.
You come to the Pontchartrain, which is packed.
If I recall correctly, it's thankfully near where I need to meet Sybil, too. Because Sybil was also on the docks.
The Pontchartrain Hotel is in the quarter.
All right.
You were like running to the Simon shop. You were like a couple blocks off from it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like a 30-ish minute drive on your motorcycle. So,
and that was at 11.
Yeah, you have like 4 hours before you need to leave.
Okay.
But it is packed. Everything is green, gold, and purple in Mardi Gras colors, and there's 2 live bands playing, which on first entering just sounds like an assault of noise, but after a moment their chords sync up and are very harmonious. It's kind of weird because they're definitely 2 different styles of bands.
Mm-hmm.
But it works, and there are a lot of people here.
Are those bands kindred or?
As far as you can tell, they look to be kind.
Okay.
But there are quite a few faces you recognize here. Nobody of like note, but definitely like, oh yeah, that's one of ours. But walking in, not too far from the entrance at a table, sitting in a longer evening gown, green with a purple sash, her hair tied up into a Victorian knot. It's Charlotte. Currently talking to a younger gentleman who looks more than eager to hang on to every drop of charisma she's belting out. And
so, with unseen presence just sort of gliding through the venue, Guire will wait until she is directly in Charlotte's line of sight to drop unseen presence.
She's currently telling a story about how so then I did get away, but and she makes eye contact. I was the only one. And the guy visibly switches from, okay, this might go somewhere, to, oh, okay, yeah, not going to talk to this girl anymore. If you will excuse me. And she just sort of leans over and pats his chin, and traditionally that's the I'm going to get up and leave, but he gets right up and walks away.
Mm.
And she gestures to a seat in front of her.
Guire just sort of struts over, lifts the cane to about a half grip, and sits down.
I feel like I haven't seen you in a few nights.
It has been busy.
You're telling me.
Well, something to do with Paul Stalin, the end of days.
Tell me what that's all about.
I'm afraid that's a question for the prince to determine what they are willing to share.
Fine, I guess. You're not wrong. She would tell me to leave anyway. So other than preventing the end of the world, what have you been doing?
Solidifying my list of people that need to have a stern conversation down to one in particular.
By stern conversation, do you mean stake to the chest and left for the sun? Or do you mean actual conversation?
Little column A, little column B.
A waiter walks by, and she just reaches up, without breaking eye contact, just reaches up, grabs a goblet, and sets it in front of you.
She'll take it, drink it.
I'd love to ask who. I know you won't tell me. I know you won't tell me. That's okay.
Let's just say there are some very old crimes that I've become very recently aware of. and I find myself in need of a translator who can read Slavic.
I took 2 years of Russian in high school.
How well do you remember it?
I mean, it was like 5 years ago. So
How often do you go back to high school?
more than I think I'd like to admit. Listen. Homecoming is a wonderful place to feed.
Fair enough. Do you think there's a quiet, secluded place away from any kind of wandering eyes?
You do ask the right questions. Give me a perception and empathy. Wits and empathy. That's the roll. Wits and empathy.
If
6. It is not hard to catch this one.
would heightened senses apply here?
Sure. Yeah.
Bring it to 5. 3 successes.
You rarely see Charlotte slip, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But she almost a little too eagerly reaches into her bag and all but throws a room key onto the table. Where she does compose herself before looking back up at you.
You've planned this out.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I take it you thought of that favor you wanted to call in.
A little bit.
All right. Shall we adjourn?
She doesn't say anything for a moment. And you very much get the, like, visibly on her face, it is the plankton meme of, well, I didn't expect to get this far. And she will grab her things and stand up.
She'll follow Charlotte.
So I have to ask, what are you... Where is this going, and do we need to fade this to black?
That depends on Charlotte.
Fair enough.
Like, Guire is, to be a little bit emotionally blunt, willing to play along if it gets her what she wants.
Completely fair. So yes. So camera fade to black, cut to an hour and a half later of Charlotte repinning her hair. So, you said there was a book you wanted me to look at?
Oh, there's a few. If you're up for it after a wonderful night.
Yeah.
She sort of chuckles. And she will, like, from various places under her coat that she sort of left, like, you couldn't see them under the coat when she discarded it, but as she picks it up, she just sort of opens it, and there are several holsters where she pulls out scrolls and a massive tome.
Okay.
2 scrolls and
I'm-
a tome, I believe. The specifics.
I'm going to need paper and pen. She reaches into the nightstand and pulls out the small, like, included notepad and pen that's in like every room beside the Gideon Bible.
Mm-hmm. The tome you won't have to worry about so much. It's just in older English.
Okay, so like anybody could read it if they
have some time, yeah.
if they knew a slight bit of German.
Just a bit.
Okay. So she unrolls the first scroll, which prominently displays Azra.
Yep.
Interesting. And I have to make some rolls for her. Hot damn, Charlotte. Okay. So you see her take a breath, put her left finger on the first word, and holding the pen with her right hand, very quickly go through the scroll. And it's not like she's getting every word. There are several spots she just puts underline and then continues writing.
Mm-hmm.
For like a word she doesn't remember or something that doesn't properly translate between the two languages. And she just keeps going. And eventually hands you about 10 pages from that notebook.
She'll take a look over it.
The gist of what she's written, with bits and pieces out of it, is that it is a thaumaturgical ritual for complete and permanent domination.
Is there a listed method of dispelling?
Within that scroll, no.
Mm-hmm. As I thought. Anything useful in the second one?
She unrolls it. Okay. Interesting. Sort of. Vampires sort of have a visible movement when they start putting blood into things.
Yeah.
And again, lightning fast translating. And as she's going, I have to ask, why these scrolls?
Because this is someone very important.
Can I ask who? As she continues translating.
Someone who I thought was a ghost.
She'll stop and look up. That might be the most ominous sentence I've heard all night. Rip. She will place them in front of you.
Should I read over it?
So, what this is for is an addendum to the previous scroll with a fairly complex magical ritual to permanently tattoo that seal onto the neck of the individual.
By gleaning the two of these things together, am I understanding that the tattoo is the thing that keeps the spell active?
Mm-hmm.
So forcible removal of the tattoo would be the only way to really dispel this.
Yes.
Good to know. I'm going to lay out some very important secrets for you. And I need you to understand where this is going.
Okay.
This woman is under this spell, as you could probably surmise.
Mm-hmm.
This woman is currently known as the Knife of Baghdad.
You see her sit up a little further.
And is currently under the control of the Sabbat. Which means she was given to the Sabbat by the Tremere. And this tome, she says, flipping it open to the back, was written by the person who put this spell on this woman. And she just indicates to the signature.
You see her you see her process it. Oh. Oh.
Now you understand who I need to have my conversation with.
Oh. Okay. Do you want me to set that meeting up?
I want the prince to hear very specifically why I'm about to be disappearing for a few days.
Okay.
And
Go
who
on.
is responsible.
Got it. Understood.
And Charlotte, she says as she sort of cups her chin. You are beautiful, and I do not want you to be hurt in any of this. He says as he kisses her on the forehead.
I can feel the butt coming.
There really isn't one. But, since you asked, this woman is not only my sire, she is my wife.
You hear the crack of the pen in her hand.
And any relationship we pursue once I have rescued her, the door is not closed there. However, I would only continue that with the mutual trust and knowledge of all involved. I'm not about to go sleeping around on this woman.
Understood.
That is not to say that nothing will happen. That is not to say that we are through. I will be happy to continue a mutual relationship between the three of us. I think you'll like her almost as much as you like me.
And you see her slip back into Charlotte. Because what you've seen sitting in front of you was a scared little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening. But I understand. And I respect it. I may be young, she says, standing up and sort of straightening her dress. But this world has made me a lot more mature than others my age. So,
If I may call upon the services of the Harpy to make it known who has betrayed whom.
I know you. If I may speak out of turn,
You never could speak out of turn.
I know it looks like you have all the facts. Outright calling for the head of a primogen?
I never said I wanted you to call. I never said I wanted to call for her execution. But I want to make it known what has happened. That an assassin previously serving not necessarily as part of, but in the employ of the Camarilla, was enslaved and handed over to the Sabbat, and who put that spell on her, and who that woman is very important to.
I will get with Sybil. Not Sybil. Whoa. That would not have been her slip. That was my slip.
Yeah.
I will get
With
with
Simone.
And we will discuss the best way to disseminate this information. And then maybe, hopefully, everything will not explode.
Believe me, I'm not about to go and walk up and challenge a primogen as being not even a member of the Camarilla. But I like to think I've proven myself important enough both to you and to Simone that the slights against me carry some weight, especially when they come tantamount to traitor to treason.
Okay, I can do that.
Now I need to go play the double agent.
Just don't get killed.
It's never my aim to.
Good. It's very hard to be in love with a pile of ashes.
I've known people who tried weirder.
You're just not trying hard enough.
You will see her just like blink like she didn't, like she couldn't believe what she just said. I'm gonna go find Simone.
All I could think of is the meme that's like, it's like, I feel like doing something stupid. I'm stupid, do me. Oh, I said that out loud.
It's one of my favorite TikTok sounds.
Yeah.
Guire just sort of leans down and gives her a kiss on the cheek.
You're not making this easier.
She smiles. But I am making it more fun.
Very true. She will stand and put an arm on your shoulder and look you in the eyes. You have to tell me where you learned that thing with your leg. You know what? Another time. And she will grab her shoes and,
like I said, I think you like Asbro almost as much as you like me.
I go do important stuff. And she will close the door behind her and leave.
Yep. And Guire will vanish off towards the docks.
Okay. You make the 20-minute drive, and it's kind of surreal, just like there's very few times that Kindred actually look around and see the kind around them. But on your ride, it just sort of like your guys' world could potentially be ending. And these people are none the wiser.
Yep.
And it's just, you have this background of bright and beautiful sound and love, and that contrast really hits you on the way there.
And all of them could die along in the bargain.
You park your motorcycle, make your way to the dock. Are you stealthing, or are you actually just presenting yourself?
At this point, she's just presenting herself. She honestly, she doesn't even want Sybil to know that she can do that.
Fair enough. The scene you come upon, the four individuals. It is Irene, Marquez, Alexei, and Sybil. And Irene and Marquez, even though they are vampires, are showing signs of severe beatings. And Alexei has a new gash across his cheek. And Sybil is sitting on the railing, looking out towards the lake, just sort of kicking her feet back and forth.
Have I come in a bad time?
No, I think you've come at a very good time, actually. She will turn and hop down. So, please give me good news.
I wish I could. I can only give you true news.
Go on.
While I was gathering information, I caught wind that the Camarilla was aware of your important traffic coming in over the bridge. Snuck past their barricade to try and see what might be done, and arrived in time to try and hitch a ride to make sure that it could realign safely after I let them know the barricade ahead was waiting for them. But they'd apparently been planning for redirection as well, because I caught sight of a sorcerer, a Tremere, in the forest as we were making our way along. And I barely had time to pull the driver from the cab before the entire thing went up in a blaze. I went back after the flames had died down to check on the cargo. But there was nothing but bodies.
So you didn't get it.
Frankly, I don't know what it was, but there was something that should have been chained there.
Roll me manipulation and subterfuge, difficulty 8.
Does my enchanting voice apply?
Yes.
All right, diff 6. Putting a willpower into this, she is lying her ass off. 4 successes.
Okay. That means that one of these stupid, useless members of the Camarilla is walking around with my very, very important and necessary ritual piece.
Well,
Aha, guess again.
If I were to take a guess, she says, pulling out one of the scrolls. My money'd be on the Tremere.
She'll sort of cock her head and look at the scroll. I'm listening.
Well, I happen to learn that your knife of Baghdad was presented to you under a domination. A domination that is controlled by the Tremere. The Tremere who then have an in to learn what they can. I infiltrated their chantry hunting this information because the Knife of Baghdad and I have a personal relationship. And I hate to see them misused.
That is certainly a word we could use about her. This is frustrating. But will not stop our plans.
And I mean, Alexei, I believe you would speak these languages if you want to confirm the information on these scrolls, she says as she tosses them to him.
He out of the air. Well, unfortunately, I do have to agree with our operative here. Very interesting. And he will just tuck those away.
I think it'd be much easier to have the Knife of Baghdad working for you of her own free will.
That's an interesting theory. Alexei. And she would just hold out her hand and he places a cell phone into it. You see her type a few words and hand the phone back to him. We'll see what she has to say. She should be here within 15 minutes.
Good. Though, of course, I wouldn't doubt that she would be unable to say anything that would incriminate her masters.
I think you severely underestimate the abilities of what she's been put through.
Perhaps. But I know how to fix it.
Do you now?
From my understanding, the spell is anchored by a tattoo on the back of her neck.
And you said you had a personal relationship with her?
I do. With her freed, I would be able to convince her to work for you willingly.
Meta, have you actually said that she's your wife to her?
Nope.
Okay. So I take it the two of you were friends before.
Something closer than friends, but yes.
I see. Well then, we can test this theory. Sybil, my apologies for interrupting, but she's here. And that is where we will end for the session. Say goodnight, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.